Hi everyone, this is Julia from Denver Mobility. I'm outside in 95-degree weather right now just to show you guys this. So today we're going to talk about static stretching versus dynamic stretching. I'm not a very big fan of static stretching, but it's probably the one that you all are most familiar with. So it's typically just pulling a muscle in one direction and holding it there for a certain length of time. Maybe you've seen the one where people are stretching their hamstrings and just holding basically. For the most part, this method of stretching is not very effective, especially if your muscles are cold. It's a potential that you may even do damage to your tissue. So if your fascia is that plastic wrap that goes around all of your muscles and you're trying to force it in one direction, that fascia won't move, especially if it's cold, and you could end up actually straining a muscle. I've seen this actually a couple times with plantar fasciitis patients that get told that they should stretch their calf muscle up against a wall, and they just prop their foot up and lean into it really hard. It actually ends up making their plantar fasciitis at least twice as bad because they're actually straining that muscle. So today I'm going to show you a dynamic workout that you could potentially add to the beginning of any exercise before a run, before you work out at the gym, but something that will actually warm up your muscles and prepare your body for exercise. Okay, so obviously this is not a complete and full body warm up, but these are some things that you might be able to integrate into your warm up. So the first one is pretty easy. It's just going to be warming up your hip muscles. So you're going to keep one leg stationary and the other leg is just going to go forward and back. Okay, so you don't want to overextend yourself. You don't need to be leaning forward and arching your back. It's just stabilizing. Go as best as you can just on the one leg. Okay, warm up that hip flexor, everything in your hip, and then it's the same thing going side to side. So just stabilize your one leg and just swing as far as you can in and out. Obviously do both sides. And then going into a more walking portion, you can just take it easy, take a walking step forward and staying tall, turn your body to the leg that's behind you and then switch. So take a step forward, turn your body away to the leg that's behind you, and you can do maybe 10 just to warm up everything in your spine, twisting, and then you can go into an actual lunge. So make sure your knee goes all the way down. Again, let's twist toward the leg this time, so you're getting a more unilateral stretch, and same thing, you go down and switch on this one. So you want to make sure that you're using your legs, your posture is staying tall, and that will help get your hips ready, especially for something like running. I also like to do a lunge where you can either lean to the side and get a good oblique stretch here, or you could even turn your hips open and lean back just a little bit, and that will get the whole chain in the front of your body, including your hip flexor. Especially if you're the type of person who has a job where you sit all day, it's very, very important to loosen up your hip flexors before you start into any type of activity. The next one may require a little bit of balance, but it's just taking a walking step forward, soften your knee, try to go down toward the floor, and warm yourself up. So if you start down a little bit lower, you can work your way until you go down all the way to the floor, or ground in this instance. So just a couple of these where you're making sure you're warming up your hamstring. Just make sure that you don't lock out your knee, or that might put a little bit of strain onto your hamstring. You just want to warm up your glute and hamstring muscles and get everything going. So lastly, just to throw in an upper body thing, you can also do shoulder circles. So if you're really feeling adventurous, you could always grab maybe something like a 2-pound weight for just a little bit of resistance, and you can go full circles if you like, going frontwards and backwards, or even just warming up a small motion is a good way to start. But eventually getting to the best range of motion you can and then do the other side will be really helpful to just get your shoulder joints warm if you're gonna be lifting anything heavy, using a lot of upper body, it's just really helpful to have something where you're warm by the time you actually get to your activity. Okay, so hopefully these are some things that you can use. Again, I would recommend not doing any static stretching if your muscles are cold, potentially not even at all. There are a lot more efficient ways to actually warm up your body if you're gonna perform at your best.